Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the React.js training. Now in this video we are going to take down one more project, and let me quickly show you what we are going to take down. So this is exercise files and you have to go into the full scale apps. Now basically these are also projects but just for the learning purpose, and we will be putting a lot of projects which are almost full scale in this directory. So we have already done a blog, and I expect that everyone might have done the assignment that I've given you. And let's go into the stopwatch. We have nothing in here. So far we have just got a blank skeleton there. In case you are wondering what command I have run is simply I went into the folder that is full scale apps and I created a stopwatch there. That's it. That's pretty much it. And I'll simply cd the stopwatch and I'll just run npm space start, and no big deal there. So there we go. This is our plain old React app that we have seen pretty much hundreds of times so far. Not 100, but at least let's just say 10 or 12 times, and you are pretty much aware of it. So let me open up the atom. So there we go. Our atom is in here, and file, open. And on the desktop it's React exercise files, there we go, and full scale apps and stopwatch. So this is the guy I want to open up. Now in case you're wondering why I'm always dragging the atom, because for some reason atoms sometimes open up on my other screen, and that is actually a 5K resolution, and I cannot record videos on 5K. I have to record it on 1080. Just some side info. So let's go in here and open up our app.js. And basically what I want to do in the app.js is nothing. I don't want to do anything inside in here. All I want to do is call some component in here at this position, exactly at line number 16. And every information about the stopwatch is going to be there. So we'll be creating a new file, and let's call it as timers. So I'll right click on the source and click on the new file, and I'll simply call it as timer.js. Now this is going to be a simple stopwatch there. Okay, so far it's good. Now let's try to work out on the logic, because just writing it as stopwatch there is not an easy thing with the components. You have to work out on a lot of things, because notice we will not be putting any button there so that we can hit the button and the stopwatch can run. We have to use some methods of the component lifecycle, but again, you can do it with the button click as well. That would be much more easier, but it's going to be almost exactly the same logic. So I'll be working on the component lifecycle method, and then I can give you a simple assignment of running exactly the same things using the onClick method on a button. So that sounds really cool. So let's go into the timer.js, and the very first thing that we'll be doing is import React, and we also need component. So component, and they all will be coming from React. So no big deal there. And I need RCOM, so that means I need a React component, and that would be called as timer. And once that is being done, I need to export that as well. So I'll simply say export default timer. Okay, so our basic skeleton is done, and what I want to do in this skeleton is I'll be saying something like I am a timer. Okay, save that, and let's go into the app.js and call that timer. So that is going to be timer, and there we go. And obviously it's going to pop an error because we haven't actually imported that. So importing the things are pretty easy. I would request you to just pause the movie there and do it by your own. Okay, so I expect that everybody was able to do it successfully. It was quite easy assignment there. So it's simply import timer from, and in the codes I have to simply say /timer, and again there's no requirement of .js there, and we should be able to see that I am a timer. Okay, that's good. So far it's being good. So far it's being easy. Now the next thing that I want to do is edit a few CSS part as well, because it's gonna be pretty easy. So let's go into the div. We don't need this I am a timer now. Our testing environment is done now, and I would be saying let's just use some paragraph tag, and let's close that as well. So I'll be saying something like you have been on this site, like you have been on this site since, and that would be fun. And then in the next paragraph, I would like to have a BR tag as well. Make sure that you close the BR tag, otherwise it's gonna yell at you. And I would be now giving it a span. Oops. It doesn't autocomplete just like it does in the Atom. So I'll close the span as well. And now I will be writing some times in here. For example, I would be giving it, let's just say 55.98 seconds. And I'll be writing the seconds and everything in the next line. So I'll keep that in the paragraph. And we are just trying to start a basic skeleton there. There we go. Oops. There we go. And now, I'll just write seconds there. And I think it's good. Let's just see how it looks. And it looks pretty basic. And what I'll be doing is I'll be writing some of the CSS for this span. So let's quickly go into app.css. There we go, app.css. And I'll be going just the end of it. And I'll be declaring some of the things here. So I'll be simply saying, hey, wherever the span is, because we know in the timer component, or in actually all of our page, there is just one span. So first of all, I'll be saying that let's increase the font size as well. So font size would be like, make it big there, 50 pixels. And this is good so far. And let's give it a color there. And color will be, let's use FFF. Okay, it should be invisible now. Save that. And there we go. It's invisible now. So we need to give it a background color property as well. So we'll say background, and background, I have selected already a color which is nice. I liked it, and that is 2ECC71. So I hope you will like that as well. So this is what we have in here, kind of a greenish, I would say. And I would be saying a border radius. So border dash radius would be 50%. And I think this should round the things up. There we go. We need to give it a little bit padding as well, otherwise it's just cloaking up. So let's give it a padding of maybe 10 pixels would be good. Save that. And yep, I think everything is looking good. So this is going to be our timer condition in here. So we have just laid out a basic skeleton. Right now there is nothing dynamic in here. Everything is just static. And obviously this is not working. So we are quite happy so far what we have done. Now in the next video, we'll be working on the logic part. We'll be defining some constructor and all of these things. And basically the logic that we'll be applying is we'll be calling the date from the component. We'll be passing it as a property, and we'll be subtracting it by calling of the time in here. Okay, I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but don't worry. As soon as we'll go it here, if you are here with me till now, that it's completely good, and we'll be editing the logic in the next video.